Hi, I'm Dr. Melissa Suhu, licensed psychologist, and I'm here on behalf of Enhearten Unseen Leaders and Enhearten Healing. Today, I want to talk with you about what is therapy. I think a lot of people have an idea of what therapy is, but few have actually experienced it and can speak from firsthand knowledge. I have been both a patient and a therapist. I am a therapist. And so, first off, I just wanted to share that therapy is a commitment to yourself. It's a regular appointment, standing appointment time that you have set aside to focus on a specific aspect of growth and change that you would like to seek out. So a lot of times we can come up with goals or resolutions that we have, but when you make a therapy appointment, it's an actual plan for you to be focusing on thinking about and working towards a change that you wish to see. Another thing about what therapy is it's a place for a safe space. And so the safe space is really important because a lot of times there's things that we want to get feedback on or things that we wish to share, but we don't really have the opportunity or the right healthy person that we feel comfortable doing that with. And so the therapy allows one to be able to process these things, to get feedback, to learn coping strategies, to get encouragement, to get accountability, personal growth, and healing and empowerment as well. Now, there's different ways that therapy can occur. And so it really just depends on the therapist and also upon you, what it is that you're expecting or wanting. And so there's this sort of ongoing dialogue about what is working and what you'd like more of. And so, for example, some therapists may work kind of more of a brief approach and an episodic approach, much like your doctor would, that you're wanting to work on having more self-confidence. And so if we're working on having more self-confidence, you're not going to be talking about the worries that you have about the finances in your household. You're focusing on self-esteem and confidence. The finances could come up. It could be something that you would talk about, but it wouldn't take the center stage. Another example of how therapy could go about would be focusing on the patient through a cultural lens. And so if your cultural identity, your racial background really has a great impact on how you view relationships in your life, then the therapist may explore and assess and do interventions with you through that lens. Another thing to also think about is the different uses for therapy. So therapy can be used as a preventive mechanism for a certain issue in your life. So let's say I had a history of abuse as a child, and so that puts me at risk of certain things occurring later on in my adult life. So I might seek out a therapist to work on those childhood issues so that I don't encounter further difficulties. Another way that therapy could be used is to treat. So say that one is currently drinking more than they want to be and it's affecting their daily performance. Then I would currently seek out treatment for this issue that I'm facing. And then the last way that therapy could also be used is maintenance. So the maintenance part, relapse prevention and maintenance, is to work on maybe some growth that has happened in the past, or either with that therapist, a different therapist, or personally. And how do you prevent a problem from recurring? So let's say I used to have panic attacks. I worked on it in therapy, but now, a few years have passed and I'm going through different things and I worry that the panic attacks are going to happen again. I might seek out a therapist to help me remember those techniques that I had from the past and maybe kind of work through, why are these stresses recurring? Why do I feel more vulnerable towards panic attacks again at this point? Lastly, if you've been thinking about therapy and others have maybe even told you you might consider working on something in therapy, then, maybe there's certain avoidances or barriers, things that just talking about your personal life with a stranger just doesn't feel comfortable to you, doesn't sound like fun. Maybe there's other ways that you handle your feelings when they're triggered. I would encourage you to kind of evaluate, just 5, 10, 15 minutes. What is it that you think therapy might accomplish for you? What would you expect? What are the things that are getting in the way? Maybe there's questions you have, how long do I need to be in therapy? Because I don't want to be in therapy for too long, or, I don't have time for it. Whatever those questions, those concerns are, those avoidances, I would encourage you to at least be aware of them and just kind of continue to ponder, because for some, the decision to seek out therapy and to make that inquiry call can be a process in itself. And if one of the barriers is not knowing who you can trust, where to find a good therapist, it seems like a lot of therapists are not available or too expensive. I would encourage you to reach out to Enhearten Unseen Leaders and Enhearten Healing. We do have a few therapists that we can provide you their contact information. And then in certain cases, also, we may be able to subsidize some of the therapy fees for those in need. So that's it for today. I hope that this video was helpful. If you have any other questions, please let us know. We would love to chat with you and engage with you. Thanks for hanging out, and hopefully we can continue to be a great help to you in your life and with your projects and goals. Take care.